सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। ओम श्री हयग्रीवाय नमः। ओम श्री वल्लभा समेत श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। So we were looking at the brahma-jijnAsA-padArtha-vichaarah. What is the meaning of brahma-jijnAsa in the first sutra? Athato brahma-jijnAsa. Now here Ramanuja has said that Brahmanaha Jijnasa, Brahma Jijnasa, and it is Karmani Shashti. In this, in fact, we don't have any objection because the desire to know is there, means there has to be an object for that, and that object is Brahman. So what is the object of your desire to know? That is Brahman. So there we have no issues. But further, what they are saying is the desire itself, the word, is actually does not indicate the desire, but it indicates the desired object, because desired object is the pradhana, or that is the important thing. And therefore, by saying icha here, ishyamana vastu is lakshya, like this. That is what they are saying. And that ishyamana vastu is Brahman, and that Brahman is nirdosha, niravatya. And for them, nirdosha means what? Sakala kalyana guna sampanna. So Brahman has all the auspicious qualities alone, and it is Sarveshwaraha, it is the Ishvara, because it is the cause of everything also. And it is called Purushottamaha. And even Brahman being called Purushottamaha, we don't have any problem. Okay, in fact, Ishvara is Brahman for us also. Purushottama is Brahman. All these things we have no problem. But the Sakala Kalyana Guna Sampannaha alone, Brahman means there is a problem with that. So we'll see that. So Ramanuja is saying this. Then the Shruta Prakashikakara is further taking that and saying that again here, Brahma Jnanam, if you take that Brahma Jnanam is the Lakshya of the Jijnasa, they are saying. Correct? Jnanam itself is the desired object. Therefore, but that jnana also for them, it is only a jnana kriya, correct? It is basically upasana. It is manasa kriya. That's why they are saying that is vidheyam. Means that is what is mandated by this jijnasa pada. Because desire itself cannot be mandated. Therefore, the Brahma Jnanam or the manasa kriya is mandated. And that's what one has to do. And the Brahma Jnana Phalam is not to be understood by Brahma Jnanam because it cannot be mandated. Okay? And the San Pratyaya itself, it is basically Raga Praptatva Jnapanartha, they says, means whatever is achievable by your desire, correct? Or whatever is to be achieved. The desire is for some desired object, and that is the one which has to be gained, correct? Whatever is to be gained, the desired object, it reveals that only. Okay. So it is basically the San Pratyaya here is not indicating the Icha itself, but the Icha Prapta Vastu. It is what it is actually indicating, or It is revealing. That's what the Shruta Prakashikakara further adds. Now, this part we have already seen. So now Bellamkonda is saying Tad Ayuktam, that is not tenable. Why? Because he says, how can you take the Icha of the Artha as the Isyamana? Okay, so his objection is that the Ishyamana Vastu itself has to be said, means it would have been directly said, correct? So he is now asking in different ways. In fact, he is saying, Kim Ichavachi Shabdaha Ishyamanam Abhidhaya Vitipadayati Yadva Lakshanaya. So when you say that this Ishyamanam alone is Pradhana and that is the one which is being indicated by the Icha Shabda, that is the meaning of desire here. If you say, then it is directly revealing it because every word has a direct meaning, correct? That's what we call um Shakti Vritti and all that. Or in this case, he is saying Abhidhaya. Abhidhaya means directly it is having a meaning, direct meaning. So is it revealing to its direct meaning or indirectly? Because Lakshanaya means it is indicatory. So the Lakshana Vritti is there, correct? We also talk about it a lot. In fact, even Tattvamasi and all, we take it as Bhagatyaga Lakshana, we say. There are different types of Lakshana are there. Lakshana Vritti, if you take, there is a Jahal Lakshana, Ajahal Lakshana, Jaha Jahal Lakshana, or Bhagatyaga Lakshana. Like this, we have three types of Lakshana we also talk about. Because everything, wherever the direct meaning does not make sense, we have to go for the indicatory meaning or the indirect meaning. This is well accepted in the Shastra. So if you take Jahal Lakshana means you give up the meaning of one word and take the meaning of the other. Okay. So like Gangayam Goshaha, if you say the settlement is on Ganga, means there Ganga, the direct meaning is the river Ganga, correct? But on the river you cannot have any settlement or any habitation. So what we have to say, it actually indicates Ganga Tiraha, means the banks of Ganga. So there you give up the direct meaning of Ganga itself and you take the meaning of something which is associated with that, which is the banks. So that is called Jahal Lakshana. Then Ajahal Lakshana means you don't give up the meaning of the word completely, but you add something more. So for example, if you say Shveto Dhavati, means the white is running. In this case, you are indicating the white horse, let us say. You retain the white meaning also because anyway it is there in the white horse, correct? But you have to add horse also. Or, or our Swamiji used to say, you go to hotel and say, give me two idlis. Means the server does not get two idlis and give it to you in your hand, correct? That is only Lakshanaya. They understand that idli means they have to bring it in a plate with idli, means then again chutney, sambar, everything also they add and bring, correct? That is what you understand. So that is also kind of Ajahal Lakshana. Then Jaha Jahal Lakshana means you retain part of the meaning and you give up part of the meaning. Of course, for this, so many examples are there. Even Soyam Devadattaha, when we say this is that Devadatta, we give up the meaning of uh, the whatever. Soyam Devadatta means this is that Devadatta, means that Devadatta was a young Devadatta with black hair and all that. This Devadatta is an old Devadatta with white hair. So basically, you have to give up the qualities of this Devadatta and that Devadatta and only retain the person. Right? That's where the identity can be there. So you give up one portion, retain one portion. All these things are called Lakshana Vritti. So here he is asking whether this is directly revealed or by Lakshanaya. Then he says it cannot be the direct meaning. Correct? Na adhyaha. Why? Icha vachaka shabdasya ishya mana vachakatva ayogat. He says it cannot be because Icha itself has its own meaning of desire. Correct? How can it mean the desired object? That is not proper. That is not tenable. If it is going to reveal the object, correct? Sati ishyamana vachakatve, icha vachakasya eva asiddhe. Then why should you even use the icha? The word icha need not be used, correct? Directly you could have referred to the ishyamana vastu. So the icha vachaka shabda itself is useless then, or is not required. So you cannot say it is the direct meaning. Why? Because what he says, nahi ishyamanayoho, icha ishyamanayoho aikyam. So there cannot be any aikya between the desire and the desired object. They are two things, two different meanings. Yena icha vachya ishyamana vachakasya. So by which you can say that the meaning of icha itself is the desired object. That is not possible. So the direct meaning is not possible, he says. So the icha vachya, the meaning of the direct meaning of the word icha cannot be ishyamana. It cannot reveal the desired object. The second also is not possible, he is saying. It cannot be indicatory also. Why? Ishyamanasya eva iha vidheyatvena icha vachaka pada prayoga ayoga. Now you cannot do vidheya of the, basically the icha, there is a icha vidhi we can say, correct? Brahma-jijnAsA-padArtha-vichaarah we can say. Okay? Brahma-jijnAsA, even though it is there, this Brahma-jijnAsA is connected with other usages in the Shruti, correct? Like jijnasitavyam, like that it is there. Vijijnasitavyaha in the Chandogya. So when you connect it with Veda Vakyas like that, then it is there is a vidhi also is there. So what kind of a vidhi it is, of course, we have to see, because in Purva Mimamsa vidhi also different types of vidhi are there. So this Vijijnasitavyaha, if you take it like that, means here the desired object is the one to be mandated. And if you take it as Brahma Jnanam, Jnanam cannot be mandated. Understand that Jnanam is Vastu Tantra. Jnana is not Purusha Tantra. Of course, they are taking Jnana as Manasa Kriya. Therefore, they can say that that also can be mandated. But anyway, what we are saying Ishya Manasya eva iha vidheyatvena. So the whatever is the desired object, that has to be mandated to be done, and that cannot, and for that here we cannot say that if you take it as Brahma Jnanam, okay, or even Brahman, then it cannot be mandated. It cannot be mandated for that. Why? If it is so, then in fact Vyasa would have said that Athato Brahma Jijnasyam, like that. That Brahma Jijnasam it is there. I think it should be Brahma Jijnasyam. Then only it will become Jijnasya, means it will be, it has to be done, correct? It has to be desired, like that it will become. So, Athato Brahma Jijnasyam iti sutrena eva itta siddhau. So, the whatever you want to convey, correct? That it is a vidhi, and then you have to do this Manasa Kriya. For that, if Vyasa really wanted to convey that, he should have written the sutra as Brahma Jijnasya and not Brahma Jijnasa. Correct? Athato Brahma Jijnasa iti sutra karanam anarthakam, he says. So if whatever you are trying to give, that is the meaning, means, see here it is there, Brahma Jijnasa, it cannot be. It has to be Brahma Jijnasyam. And also, by giving it as Brahma Jijnasa, and you say, no, I will still interpret like this, means you are giving up the simple interpretation and taking something more complicated, correct? Normally, the principle is that if the direct meaning or the simple meaning makes sense, you don't go for some other indirect meaning and all that and make it more complicated. Then there is a Gaurava dosha will come, correct? Gaurava avaham means you are bringing in complexity here, where a direct simple explanation will actually suffice. Correct? It is, we don't have to make it more complicated and make it gaurava. So gauravavaham chaiti bhavaha. Therefore, brahma jijnasa cannot indicate brahma jnanam. Okay. Further he says, okay, nacha san pratyayaha vicharasya raga praptatva jnapanarthaha iti vachyam. So you cannot say that san pratyaya actually is meaning the the getting of the desired object itself. Okay. If that is so, correct, tatha sati aprapta eva shastra arthavaditi shuta prakashikakara vachanadeva prakritra shastrasya anarthakya prasangat. So he says the ishyamana artha, correct, the desired, whatever is to be desired, if you say like that, it is the desired object itself is meant by the word desire means what happens is that you directly get the, by the desire itself you are getting the desired object. Then what is the use of shastra? Because the desired object has to be gained through shastra, correct? Shastra is the nyapaka here. Shastra is the one which reveals Brahman, and this can only be attained by studying the shastra. We all know that. That's why Upanishadam Brahma and all that it is said even in the Upanishad itself. Therefore, if by the desire only, if you directly indicate the desired object, then what is the role of Shastra then? Shastra will become useless. Shastra will not have any role. Okay. So, because Shastra, even Shruta Prakashikakara accepts that aprapta eva Shastra arthavat. Shastra is meaningful only if it is revealing something which we do not know already, correct? In fact, our definition of knowledge itself is that it has to be anadhigata. So anadhigatam means what? That which is not already known through any other means of knowledge. That alone the Shastra has to reveal. In fact, the Veda particularly has to reveal something which is not already available to us because it is a deliberate means of knowledge. And this is all very clear to us. But so the Shuta Prakashikakara himself says that and then gives a meaning like this, which is contradictory. So Prakrita Shastrasya Anarthakya Prasanga will come. So whatever the Shastra which is being started now, this Brahma Sutra, it will become meaningless if you say that the desire itself now indicates or it will give you the desired object. Okay. So now for this what they are saying, Nahi Raga Prapta Brahma Vichara Pratipadakam Vedanta Shastram Artavad Bhavitum Arhati Napi Dharma Jijnasa iti vat ihapi Sanpratyopapattihi iti Vachyam. Okay. So here, why? Because he is saying the Raga Prapta Brahma Vichara Pratipadakam. So the Brahman is Raga Prapta. It is the one which is desired, and for that the Vichara is actually mandated here. So the Brahma Vichara itself is mandated, and by that the Vedanta Shastra becomes meaningful. Like this, you cannot say he is saying Raga Prapta Brahma Vichara Pratipadakam. So this Jijnasa Pada is indicating the desired object itself, and based on that, the Vedanta Shastra will become meaningful because of that only. Like this, you cannot say. And further, they also claim that they are taking it similar to Dharma Jijnasa. Napi Dharma Jijnasa iti vat ihapi sanpratyaya upapattihi iti vachyam. So, in the case of Dharma Jijnasa, so it is actually like this only. You cannot say that also. Why? Because tatra api dharma jnanam vidheyam iti iti artha varnane ukta dosha prasanga. Even there, if you say that the jijnasa where actually points to dharma jnanam, then the same problem will come. Okay, whatever we are telling here, the jnana cannot be, any jnanam is vastu tantra. So there cannot be any vidheya for that. So the whatever dosha we said already, that will come even in that case. Okay, if you interpret it like that, therefore this whatever vidhi you are talking about, the vidhi is meaningful only if it is aprapta, if it is already not gained, and therefore whatever you are saying here, we cannot accept it. Okay. Now they are bringing in the nididhyasitavyaha, vijijnasitavyaha, all these words are all there, correct? So atma va are drashtavyaha, shrotavyaha, mantavyaha, nididhyasitavyaha, so anveshtavyaha, all these vakyas are all there. Vijijnasitavyaha also is there. So you cannot say that we are actually going along with these kinds of shrutis, okay? Napi nididhyasitavyaha, vijijnasitavyaha ityadi shruti jignasa iti prayuktam iti vachyam. So we are going along with all these shrutis like this also and giving the meaning of jignasa in this case. Okay, you cannot say that also. Why? Because tatrapi nididhyasanam videyam vijnanam videyam ityadi artha varnane ukta dosha nati ramana. So here the ukta dosha, whatever doshas we have said, it will come even in those cases. Okay, because the nididhyasitavyaha means you have to do nididhyasana. Not, it cannot indicate the object of nididhyasana itself, correct? There also the vijijnasitavyaha means you have to know. It cannot mean the desired object to know. So all these problems will come there also. Tatrapi, okay, this nacha, okay, nacha brahma jnanasya priti rupatvena ichha vishayatvat sanpratyaya nirdesha upapattihi iti vachyam. Okay, the other contention they are saying is what? Brahma jnana is priti rupa. So it is something very pleasing, desirable. Therefore, it can become the object of desire. Then only it is an object of desire. Therefore, the sun pratyaya can indicate that, not the desire itself, but the desired object, because that is what is desired by everybody. Like this, you cannot say. If you say that, see, the Brahma Jnana itself is to be understood by the desire to know Brahman. Then what is the meaning of that Brahma Jnanam you have to give, correct? We are saying Brahma Jnanam means it is Vastu Tantra, it cannot have any, it cannot be mandated, correct? Now they want to bring in the meaning of Vidhi and also make this Brahma Jnanam into a Manasa Kriya. So from that angle only they are talking here. Now he is asking, Kim Vicharatmakam Brahma Jnanam Priti Rupam, Kim Va Phalatmakam he asks. If you say that it is Priti Rupa, is it Vicharatmaka? Brahma Jnana means, are you talking about the Brahma Vichara as Brahma Jnanam? Or are you talking about the Brahma Jnana Phala? No, it cannot be Vicharatmaka, he says. Why? Because Na Adyaha Vicharasya Priti Rupatva Abhava. So the Vichara cannot be Priti Rupa, he says, because Vichara itself is not an easy thing to do, correct? In Vichara, when you do Vichara, or even if you sit for some meditate, let us say Manasa Kriya, according to them, you are sitting and doing Upasana. Doing Upasana itself is not something very pleasant. If that is so, everybody will be doing Upasana easily. Okay, or even if you talk about it as Shravana Manana Nididhyasana as a Vichara, Shastra Vichara, even that is not very easy because you have all kinds of doubts which are plaguing your mind, and this process itself is not that easy. That's why very few people are actually attending even Vedanta classes, correct? So it is not, you cannot say the Vichara itself is Priti Rupa. Therefore, Priti Rupa to Abhavat Vicharasya. And the second thing also is not possible, he says, Nadvitiyaha Vidheyatva Yogena Tasya Iha Asvikara. It cannot be the Phala Rupa because the Phala cannot be mandated, he says. Only the Kriya, whatever is to be done can be mandated. The Phala cannot be mandated. Therefore, Vidheyatva Ayogena, if you take it as Phala Rupa, Phala Rupa can be Preeti because that's what we really want. Everybody wants the end, correct? The means is always a problem. Anyway, so, but it cannot be mandated. We cannot take, so we do not accept it here. Dvitiya also. Therefore, what Tasmat, okay, Varnena api ekena anarthakena na bhavitavyam iti nyaya atra sanpratyayasya sarthakyam avashyam vaktavyam iti tad avachanad avadyameva Ramanuja bhashyam. So he says, therefore, what the sutra means, it should be Alpaksharam, Asandigdham, Saravat, Vishwato, Mukham and all. We have the Sutra Lakshana, correct? The Sutra has a certain definition, but it has to have minimum words, minimum letters, in fact, minimum alphabets, syllables. So, therefore, even one meaningless syllable also should not be there in the Sutra. Everything has to have meaning. Because if you wanted to indicate the desired object, then they could have directly said that. Why should you unnecessarily put in the san pratyaya there and make the word as jijnasa? Correct? And you cannot say that the san pratyaya is meaningless here. Because you are basically making it meaningless. And saying that it points to the brahma-jnanam itself. That will not work out. The san pratyaya has to have a proper meaning, which will not come with just brahma-jnanam. Correct? Therefore, the sutra definition itself, it says that meaninglessly nothing can be there because the sutra by definition has to have minimum syllables. You cannot add anything like this and say that it doesn't have any meaning. Therefore, the san pratyaya has to have some meaning. Okay. And therefore, from all these things, we can say that whatever Ramanuja has given the meaning, that the san pratyaya points out to the ishyamana vastu has to be rejected, okay, as defective. It has to be condemned. It cannot be accepted because it is defective. It is avadyam. Avadyam means you reject it as defective. You condemn it. Therefore, whatever Ramanuja has said in his Bhashya cannot be accepted. Then he goes to the next thing that Ramanuja has said, Brahman is Purushottama Vachi, correct? And Ananta Kalyana Gunaha. So he now goes into that. So Tatha, further what? Brahma Shabdaha Purushottama Vachi iti Sampratipannam. परंतु पुरुषोत्तमस्य तस्य गुणवत्वं विप्रतिपन्नं निर्दोषस्य तस्य निर्गुणत्वेन एव भाव्यत्वात्. Okay, see there, if you take Brahman as Purushottama, we have no problem, correct? Because even in the Gita, Bhagavan says, Dvavimau Purushau Loke Sharashchakshara Evacha Sharas Sarvani Bhutani Kupasthokshara Uchyate Uttamah Purushastvanyaha Paramatmetyudahritaha. So the Uttamah Purushaha is separate from Kshara and Akshara, okay, or the manifest and the unmanifest. Okay, and that is Brahman. The Brahman is indicated by the word Purushottamaha because it is separate from both the manifest and the unmanifest. So Uttamah Purushastvanyaha Paramatmetyuda, Yolokatrayama Visha Bhibartyavye Ishvaraha and all that. So this Purushottama Vachi, Brahma Shabdaha is okay for us. Sampratipannam. It is tenable, it is true. But the meaning of this Purushottama that you have given, that the Purushottama has gunas, correct? Ananta Kalyana Guna and all that, that is false. That is Vipratipannam. That cannot be accepted. Why? Because you also say that Brahman cannot have any dosha, correct? It has to be Niravadya. The Shruti itself talks about Brahman as Niravadya. It cannot have any defects. But defectless means it has to be qualityless also. So anything with qualities is doshavat. Saguna means it is sadosha also. That is what he is pointing out. Nirdoshasya tasya nirgunatvena eva bhavyatvam. Because if you say that Brahman has to be nirdosha, that's why he says that this Ananta Kalyana Guna Sampannaha means Nirguna also they take it as Nirheya Gunaha. Means Brahman does not have any gunas which has to be given up, correct? Which are fit to be given up. Nothing like that. It has only auspicious qualities. But if you say anything has qualities only, it will have dosha. You cannot have only Kalyana Guna and all that. Sagunam means sadosham. Nirguna only can be nirdosha, defectless. So he further explains that what nahi sagunam vastu kwapi nirdosham upalabhyate. So any vastu with quality you cannot get in this world. Also we see it always has some defects. And Shruti also says all these words, correct? Niravadyam, Niranjanam, Kevalo, Nirgunascheti, Brahmani, Gunadoshayoho, Abhavaha, Shruyate. So wherever it talks about Brahman as Nirgunaha, there only it talks about Niravadya also. So it is Niravadyam here means Nirdoshaha. Defectless means it cannot be having any gunas. Sakshi, Kevalo, all these words are also there. Nirgunascha, like that, correct? Sakshi, Cheta, Kevalo, Nirgunascha. Wherever you see all these places, or wherever Brahman is talked about as Shuddha also, it is talked about as Nirguna. Shuddham here means not, it is not subjected to any taint, correct? That is the kind of Shuddha we are talking about. It's not that you have purified Brahman and then it has become Shuddha. It is Shuddha here means it can never be tainted. It can never become impure. That is the Shuddhatvam we talk about when we talk about Brahman. And that can be only there if it is Nirgunaha. So Gunadoshayoho Abhavaha Brahmani Shruyate. The Shruti also is whenever it is revealing Nirguna, it is also revealing it as Nirdosha, Niravadya. Now for this what they are coming back and saying, no, Brahman is revealed as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Vijnanam Anandam and all that, correct? Vijnanam Anandam Brahma is there in Brihadaranyaka. Satyam Jnanam Anantam is there in Taittiriya. So what they are saying, Nachap Vijnanam Anandam Brahmeti Shruter Brahmani Jnananandau Gunaustaha iti Vachyam. So you cannot come and say this Jnana and Ananda are there as Brahma Guna. Okay. You cannot say that. Why? Tatra Vijnana Rupam Ananda Rupam cha Brahma ityeva Arthat. So there Vijnana and Ananda are Brahma Swarupa. Okay. They are not Gunas. They are the very nature of Brahman. They are revealing words also. They reveal the Swarupa of Brahman. Okay. Therefore, it cannot be a Guna. It's not a quality. Even if you say that, what do they say? He says, no. When we say Vijnanam, okay, actually, is Vishishta Jnanam is there, correct? You say, so Vishishta Jnanam Asya Asti. Like this, we have to take it as Bahuvrihi. So Vijnanam Asya Asti iti Vijnanam Similarly, Anandaha Asya Asti iti Anandam iti Artha Kalpanasya Ayuktatva. Even if you do Artha Kalpana like that, that it is a Bahuvrihi, means it has Ananda Asya Asti means for that Ananda is there. For this Brahman, Vijnanam is there. Like this, if you take it as a Bahuvrihi, even then it is not proper. In fact, grammatically also it is not proper. Because in some places, in fact, there are usages like this. Like Papaha Ravanaha. There is a usage like that. When you say Papaha, means Ravana is not Papa itself, but Papaha Asya Asti, you can say. Correct? Papa is there for Ravana, therefore he is called Papaha Ravanaha. Usages like that are there. In fact, it's allowed by a Paniniya Sutra also. Harshadi Ach, like that, the Ach Pratyaya can come and give the meaning and make it into a Bahurihi. In fact, that even he is taking up here. So, Arshadi Gane, Yetat Padayoho Apathat, he says. Means this Arshadi Ach means this Ach Pratyaya can come only for the Shabdas starting with Arsha. There is in the Ganapatha, a list of words are given starting with Arsha. Then all these words alone can get that Ach Pratyaya and then become a Bahurihi and indicate meaning like Asya Asti, correct? Now in that Gana, Vijnana, Ananda, Satyam, Jnanam, etc., all these things are not there. Even Panini has not included it there. Therefore, you cannot give a Vyutpatti like that, he is saying. So, Arshadi Gane, Yetat Padayoho Apatha. Or, okay, even for that, they can say, no, no, everything need not be there. The list can be an indicatory list, correct? Any list you give, because when we study the Paniniya Sutra, it is not just Sutra alone. The Ganapatha is very important because in many sutras, a list is mentioned, but the entire list he cannot give in the sutra. So the Ganapatha is actually separate. And we have to go and refer the Ganapatha to understand the sutra. And the Ganapatha, in this case, Gana means a group. Right? Groups or lists are given separately. And in that list, starting with Aarsha, there is no, all these words are not there. Mean they can say that list is indicatory. It is not a exhaustive list. Like this, they can say. But even if it is not an exhaustive list, Panini himself will indicate that Gana as for that in the Vyakarana we have a term. Correct? What is that? It's called Akriti Gana. So Akriti Gana means it is only an indicatory list. It's not an exhaustive list. But in this case, the Arsha Adi are not said as Akriti Gana. So he says that Arsha Dehe Akriti Ganatvena Etat Padasvikarasya Vipratipannatva. So this Arshadi are not has been not accepted, correct? So they are not Akriti Gana. Therefore, you cannot you cannot claim that also. So you cannot just give your own meaning that Ananda means Anandaha Asya Asti. Vijnana means Vijnanam Asya Asti. Like this, the meaning cannot be given. Grammatically also you are wrong. Okay. Also you cannot say Nacha Vishishtam Jnanam Yasya Tad Vijnanam Iti Bahuvrihi iti Vachyam. So you cannot say it is Bahuvrihi. Like I said already, the ach pratyaya also can come in that meaning, or you can simply take it as Vishistam Jnanam Yasya Tad Vijnanam Bahurihi, like that if you are giving without the ach pratyaya also, let us say you are giving that meaning. Because the word you can still get, Vijnana word can come without ach pratyaya also. If you say that, then what about Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahmeti Shutyantara Anurodha? It will not go along well. Okay, Satyam Asya Asti, Jnanam Asya Asti, Anantam Asya Asti and all, you cannot give meaning like that for everywhere. Okay, in the case of Vijnanam, you can say that Visiktam Jnanam is there, therefore he is called Vijnana. But what about just Satyam Jnanam Anantam? There, this kind of a meaning will not work out. So, this Brahman has all these qualities of Jnana, Ananda, etc. will not work. In fact, later on, we have a very big vichara. Whether there, in fact, the Vishtadvaitins do not accept Nirvishesha Vastu itself, correct? They say that there cannot be anything Nirvishesha. In fact, we do not accept any Savishesha itself. We say that Savishesha is only Adhyasa. There cannot be really anything Savishesha. So like that, there is a big vichara is there. So we'll see that. Here he is just introducing that point here, saying that Kalyana Guna Sampannaha means it will become, it cannot have just only Kalyana Guna. Any Guna, Saguna means it is Sadosha. Nirguna only can be Nirdosha. And Satyam Jnanam Anantam and all are not Guna, they are actually Swarupa. They reveal the Swarupa of Brahman. Therefore, they cannot be taken as Gunas. So, whichever way you try with all this Pratyaya, Rasa, Samasa and all that, it is not possible. Okay. Because this kind of meaning is not, even grammatically also you are wrong. Further, kincha na iha sarveshwara bhutam maya shabalam brahma jneyam tasya mukta aprapyatvena ajneyatva. Also, Ramanuja is giving the meaning as Sarveshwara for Brahman here. Even that Ishwaratvam itself is only there due to Maya, correct? Maya Shablam Brahma only is Ishwara or Sarveshwara. And that knowing that Sarveshwaram Brahman itself will not give you mukti because you are knowing it as an object other than you. So normally what people think, I am somebody separate and there is an Ishvara who is separate from me and I am part of this Ishvara's creation and all that. This is the normal meaning. And Ishvara also becomes one more Vastu for you then. But if Ishvara becomes a Nyaya Vastu, by being a Nyaya only Ishvara will become limited, correct? Any object of cognition is limited by the very fact that you are able to objectify it. That itself is a problem actually. Anyway, so how they actually answer that I don't know. But anyway, here what we say is Maya Shabalam Brahma, which is Sarveshwaraha, cannot be the Nyaya here when we say Brahma Jnanam, because by knowing that Maya Shabalam Brahma or Ishvara, you will not get mukti. Okay, in fact, they are clear about that knowing alone will not give you mukti. You have to go to Vaikuntha and all that. We'll come to that point. So we say that just knowing itself will not give mukti. Particularly this, if you take Brahman as Sarveshwara. And what is the one which will give you mukti means Prapyam, Nirmayam, Shuddham hi Brahma iha Jneyam. So when we talk about Brahma Jnanam, it has to be this Brahman without Maya. Okay. The Brahman has to be known without Maya. And Shabalitam here means associated with and all that you can take a meaning. Okay. Along with, of course, but it cannot be, the Maya is not a second entity. Okay. So you cannot say Brahman plus Maya like that and get confused. Then where is Advaita, you will ask. That's why we have to be very careful. The words like Shabalam and all is used because uh, this Maya itself is not of the same order of reality. Correct? That's why we have to say it is Mithya. Maya is Mithya. Mithya is an ontological term, Means it tells you the status of the reality of Maya. Maya is not as real as Brahman. Therefore, even when we say from the standpoint of Maya, Shabalam can be translated in English as from the standpoint of Maya, we have to say. Okay. Because from the standpoint of Brahman, there is no Maya. Maya itself is there only for those who see that Maya. Correct? Like even the magic, the magician is conjuring up so many things. Only the onlookers see it as many different things and as though it is real. In reality, there is nothing there. Correct? From the Mayavi standpoint, there is no magic. Only for those onlookers, magic is there as though it is real. That is the Maya we are talking about here. So that which appears, but in reality, it is not there. Okay. So that is what? So Brahman is appearing as Sarveshwara. Sarveshwara is Brahman, but Brahman is not Sarveshwara. That is the that is the understanding we have to have. Understand that this is the inequality you have to understand. So my Guruji, Dayananda Swamiji used to say always, correct? B is A, but A is not B. He used to say. Okay. And for this, what example he used to give? He used to say Amitabh Bachchan is actor, correct? And Amitabh Bachchan is acting as a beggar. So actor A is acting as a beggar in the drama, and he's acting so well. He has studied so many different beggars, and all their characteristics he is bringing out in the drama, and he acts so well, and he's getting applause for that. And by acting as a beggar, he has earned another million rupees. So here, what we have to understand: beggar is actor, correct? There is no beggar without the actor being there, but the actor is not beggar. Beggar is actor. The beggar character is actor. But actor is not beggar. Actor, even while being beggar, also he was not a beggar. Correct? Even while acting as a beggar, he was not a beggar. Before also he is not a beggar. After also he is not a beggar. He was never a beggar, really speaking. That's what we are talking about here. Sarveshwaraha, when we say it is Brahman. Whatever you say here, it is all Brahman only. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. But Brahman is not any of one of these things. That's what we have to understand. That is the inequality we have to understand. Satyam Mithya is the fundamental thing we have to understand here. Many Advaitins also don't understand this properly and create some prakriyas which are all problematic. So, anyway, so Maya Shabalam, when we say, we can take it as from the standpoint of Maya. And by knowing Brahman from the standpoint of Maya, as Sarveshwaraha, you are not going to. It is like knowing Amitabh Bachchan as beggar. Doesn't make any sense, correct? It's not the reality. The actor is not the beggar. So to know the actor, really, you have to know the actor, whoever he is, not the character. So like that, Mukta Prapyam Nirmayam, without the character, without Maya, you have to know Brahman as it is. Then only it, in fact, it will give you moksha, and that is the real thing to be known here, correct? That is the Nyayam. Nyayam Brahma is that alone, not Maya Shabalam, Sarveshwaraha. Now they are saying, no, no, according to us, Ishvara is by knowing Ishvara itself, we'll get mukti. So, nacha Ishvaraha eva mukta prapyaha iti vachyam. So by knowing Ishvara only, we'll get mukti. That is our Siddhanta. Okay. Means you cannot say like that. Why? Because let us take Swapna. So Swapna iva jagarepi jiva ajnana kalpitasya ishwarasya mukta prapyatva yoga. So in Swapna also you can do a dream that I am an individual in Swapna and there is a Ishvara who has created this Swapna Jagat, all that. But when you wake up, all that is only swapna, correct? There is no reality to that. Neither the swapna individual is real, nor the swapna Ishvara is real. It was all due to ajnana alone. There was an ajnana in the swapna, and once you wake up, everything is gone. They have no reality. Like that here also, in the waking also, whatever you think that I am a jiva, I am limited being, and there is a separate Ishvara sitting somewhere. All these things are only kalpita. It's all only from the standpoint of Maya. So, jiva ajnana kalpitasya Ishwarasya. So, Ishvara itself is there only for an ajnani, separately at least. Okay. Therefore, what? That Ishvara, knowing an Ishvara as other than me, that knowledge is not going to give you any mukti. It cannot be mukta prapya. It is not tenable. Mukta prapyatva ayoga. Nor you can say, nahi muktau jivasa ajnanam asti. Yena tatra Ishvaraha bhave. So you cannot also say that no, no, even the mukta, even the jnani or the mukta purusha is ajnani only. That's ajnana. Therefore, Ishvara will be there. You cannot say that. Then what is the point of all this jnana and knowledge, etc.? We are not pursuing knowledge to still remain as ajnanis, correct? Therefore, what? Tasmat paripurna nitya shuddha buddha pratyek abhinna ब्रह्मज्ञानाय वेदान्तविचारः कर्तव्यः इति शङ्करोक्तः एव अर्थः साधीयान्. We have to, it is established or it has to be established what? No? This Paripurna, Brahman which is full, which is whole, which doesn't lack anything, correct? And which is free from time itself, Nitya, and it can never be tainted by any whatever dosha, Shuddha. It is always of the nature of consciousness. Being consciousness, it cannot be other than your inner self. Understand that. Because your self alone is not an object. It is always the eternal subject. In fact, it is Shrotrasya Shrotram, Manaso Manaha, Vachoha Vacham, Pranasya Pranaha, Chakshusha Chakshuhu, all this. Correct? It is the seer of sight, hearer of hearing, all these things you can say. It is your own self which can never be objectified. If you can objectify it, it will become limited. Understand that? And which, again, to know that you need not objectify it because it is Swatasiddhaha, Swaprakashaha. If I ask you, are you there? You don't have to use any pramana to say I am there. Understand that? That is Swaprakasha we are talking about. Self-luminous. Therefore, that is Brahman, which is Chaitanya, Chaitanya Swarupa, and it is not separate from yourself. And that Brahma Jnana only you have to gain from Vedanta Vichara. And that Vichara is Kartavya. Vichara can be mandated. Even here, Bhashyakara takes it as Niyama Vidhi and all that, because there can be an Apadada Jnanam, and by doing Veda Adhyayana itself, from there only, but still there can be an option whether I have to do Vichara or not. Means if there are options, then one thing has been now mandated that Vichara has to be done. So Bhashyakara accepts it as Niyama Vidhi in the Bhashya, but even that Vidhi, any Vidhi itself is only Vidhi Chaya, also Bhashyakara says. Nobody, Veda cannot force anybody to do anything. Veda is only Jnapaka. Sarvam Shastra, all Shastra is only revealing. You will only take it as a mandate or a Vidhi and all, it again depends on you, how you take the Shastra. Whatever is revealed by the Shastra, whether I have to, first I have to have Shraddha in the Shastra as a Pramana. Otherwise, I won't take it as a Vidhi, correct? So, any Vidhi is also really Vidhi Chaya, he says. But within the context of the Mimamsa, he accepts it as a Niyama Vidhi. You can go and read even in the Brihadaranyaka Bhashya and Shankamya Bhashya and all, it is there. And Brahmasutra Bhashya also. So Vedanta Vichara has to be done. So here the Jijnasa Pada, again for us also, the desire itself, if you take it as a vidhi, desire also cannot be mandated, correct? Desire has to happen because janati, ichhati, yatate, let us say. That is the progression, correct? You know something, then you get the desire. And even to get the desire, you should have a certain background, right? You should have certain maturity, etc. Then if you have the desire, it leads to yatna, prayatna. Is that prayatna alone is mandated here? It can be mandated. Desire also cannot be really mandated. So when we talk about the desire here, we are actually talking about the effort which has to be made for the desire to give the desired object. Okay, it can only indicate that lakshanaya. So Vedanta vicharaha kartavyaha. So here the effort is the vichara, Vedanta vichara. So that is the correct meaning. That's what Shankaracharya is giving this meaning for this brahma-jijnAsa, that Vedanta vicharaha kartavyaha. What is the vidhi here? And in this what? Asmin pakshe san pratyayasya vichara lakshakatvena sarthakyam. So the san pratyaya is indicating the vichara. So vichara, brahma vichara is the lakshya here, and san pratyaya is the lakshaka or the indicator. And what is indicated is the brahma vichara, and by this only it becomes meaningful. Jnana shabdasya cha phalabhutaha mukhyaha eva arthaha. न तु विचाररूपः लाक्षणिकः इति गुणश्च. So the jnana shabda, you cannot take san pratyaya as brahma jnana, because for us jnana itself is moksha, correct? So the brahma jnanam, the mukhya artha for us is phalabhuta, because jnanam being purusha tantra, sorry, vastu tantra, you cannot also have that as some purusha tantra vishaya for vidhi and all that. So brahma jnanam is phalabhuta, that is the mukhya artha, and it cannot be, therefore brahma jnanam itself cannot be taken as vichara rupa. That's why the sun is important there. Sun only comes and points out that that desired thing means you have to do vichara for that. Okay. So without the sun, just brahma jnana means will become phala bhuta, and there cannot be any vidhi there. There cannot be anything to be done. Therefore, the sun pratyaya is indicating the vichara. Brahma jnanam itself cannot indicate vichara. That's what he is pointing here. So, nacha san pratyayad vicharaha ityasya siddhau api katam vedanta vicharaha ityasya siddhihi iti vachyam. Okay. Now the objection is what? Okay, Brahma Jijnasa is there. Where does it say that Vedanta Vichara has to be done? You are saying Vedanta Vichara you have to do. How do you get that? Means that is very clear, because Brahman is Upanishadam Brahma, correct? So Brahmanaha Upanishadatvena tad jnanasya Vedantaikas samadhigamyatvat tat siddhihi iti. So Brahman is known only from Upanishads. Upanishadam Brahma, Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam, Maham Brahma Nirakuryam, and all that we have it even in the Shanti Mantra, but Upanishadam Brahma Prichami and all that it is there even in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So Brahman is known through these Upanishads only, through the Vedanta. The Brahman can only be known by the Vedanta, because Vedanta alone is the pramana for that. Therefore, that's why this Vedanta Artha Vichara alone one has to do, and that is the Sakshat Jnana Karanam. And Jnanam itself is moksha for us, it is Phalarupa. Okay? Because the Vastu is Siddha Vastu, understand? For Sadhya Vastu only, Jnanam cannot be Phalarupa. So you have to still do something. But here it is Siddhasya, Siddha has become Sadhya because of Ajnana. That is why the Adhyasa Bhashya is so important in the Brahma Sutra. Therefore, Based on that, one has to do vichara here, Vedanta-artha vichara, and that is what is Brahma Sutra. So the rest of the things we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.
Om.